Are you ready to learn how to sell your digital product or course using live video? If that's you, you're going to want to stick around because today we are going to go through exactly how to take your audience from just finding you on social media to sold. And more specifically, we're going to go through some case studies, 3 case studies of 3 different students of mine. And I am showing the exact path to cash that we created to sell different products and courses. And now here's the thing, I know that so many of you really don't enjoy going live or creating video. I did a survey in my community in the last few days, and I think 70% of you were under. You scored it on a 1 to 10, 1 being you absolutely do not enjoy video, to 10 being you love it. 70% of you said that you were under a 6. So, I get that video might not be the thing you're most excited to do every week, and you want to have a way that you can use it that is going to get your result, and you don't have to waste tons of time and money and energy figuring it out. So I am recording this training live today. I'm super excited to be here with all of you. If you are here watching with me live, you can just drop me a hashtag live, or if you are watching the replay, you can drop me a hashtag replay as well. And the more you guys like and comment on this video, the more other people who are looking for this training can find it as well. So just show some videos, just show some love on this video. Help me out, help everyone else out. And we are going to jump in and get started. And question for all of you before we actually jump in and begin is, what is it that you are trying to sell with your lives now? So is it a specific digital product? Is it like swipe templates? Is it an ebook? Is it like a PDF doc? Is it little templates of some sort, swipe files? Or maybe it's some sort of course or group coaching program. Let me know in the chat, what is it that you are working on selling now? I'm curious to hear what that is. And if you don't know me, before we actually get into the training, my name's Alex. I am a video marketing strategist and the founder of Unscripted Moment. We're an e-learning company that helps online entrepreneurs get on camera, specifically live video, and sell with ease and confidence. And today we're going to go in depth, like I said, through this very clear training where we're going to talk through how you can start selling with live video and give these case studies. But I also have 2 other trainings this month that I'm going to talk to you about at the end of this. Well, the first is a summit that I'm speaking at, which is the Rebel Boss Summit, which basically helps you launch your digital product. It's pretty amazing. I'm going to be sharing about the 5 live videos that you can create to be selling. We'll talk more about that later. And then the second thing is my free 7-day live video challenge, which is starting on March 12th. So both the links are in the description, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end as well. All right, cool. So I see someone saying, hey, what's up? I see someone saying, done for you, Reels. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. Well, let's get started. We're going to jump in. The first thing we're going to talk about is what I like to call the cold to sold live video blueprint. I'm going to briefly walk you through that. After that, we're going to talk about where most people go wrong with live video, and then we're going to go through those 3 case studies. So let me pull up my screen. Okay, so let me know in the chat if you've ever seen this before. You can just give me a yes or a no. I'm going to go through this pretty briefly because on some of my other trainings, I'll go through this more in depth. But this is essentially how you take someone who has just found you on social media, whether it's Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn, wherever you're going live, how you take them from just finding you to sold. And I just want to mention too, this is something that you want to be customizing, right? For whatever platform you're on and for your specific business. This is not like a one size fits all. It's a framework, right? So let's start all the way on the left. So we've got a new lead enters your ecosystem. So maybe it's a Facebook group, LinkedIn, Instagram, wherever it is you're going live, right? From there, they're going to attend your weekly live. I always recommend having a weekly live where you can get really predictable with your audience, where they know every Friday at 2:15, Alex is going to go live. When I had my leadership coaching business, every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, I would go live, and people were marking their calendar for that event, and it would just amass more and more viewers and people recommending other people to come to it. So have this really predictable show or event that's happening every single week. You can see here also the Power 5 live video events that I mentioned. This is something I'm actually doing a training on during the Rebel Boss Summit. So if you want to learn more about those Power 5 live videos, these are the videos that I recommend creating every single month to be selling. We go into the topics and such. Make sure you sign up for that. You'll get to watch my full presentation on that. But for now, all you really need to know is that, you'll have your new leads that are attending weekly to your actual trainings, right? From there, you're going to have some sort of call to action, right? Whether it's a call to action where you're asking people to DM you to grab your freebie, or maybe you want them to comment a code word during the video where you're like, maybe you're like, okay, comment freebie if you want access to this free PDF guide that I've got. Or maybe you're just putting the link to sign up in the description of the video, right? But the point is you've chosen some sort of call to action that you want people to take action on. And from here, this is where you make a decision. So either you have, your low ticket, you have something lower ticket that you're just going to sell straight off the live, right? Like maybe your call to action is to buy your $27 template, or to enroll in your $27 membership, or to buy a $97 course, right? Whatever low ticket looks like for you in your industry, it varies based off industry. So that could be one option, but maybe your higher ticket, maybe your call to action is like a freebie. Maybe you want them to sign up for a challenge or a workshop or a discovery call, right? And that's when we're getting people to sold. So the purpose of this is just to show you that those who have success with live video don't just hit go live and hope for the best. They have a very clear path to cash that is mapped out, right? They can articulate this path to cash as well. And the beauty of having this is that when you have people go through this process, you're able to figure out where the kinks are. You're able to figure out where people are getting stuck versus trying to reinvent the wheel every single time something goes wrong. So if this is making sense to you so far, give me a yes in the chat. Let me know that you're following along. Let me know that this is clear. And I want to go through some of the mistakes that I see when we're trying to create this personalized blueprint, or we can call it a path to cash. And remember, I'm going to give you 3 examples that my students have used successfully with this blueprint as well in just a few minutes. So mistake number 1, when putting together a path to cash using live video, is putting like way too many roadblocks in front of the audience, which is preventing them from buying, right? And this is going to lead us to our first case study right now. So this first case study that's going to give you guys this idea of where I'm coming from with this is one of my clients who is selling a $10 ebook that she created, right? And when we met, this is what her path to cash using live video looked like. So she had her free Facebook group. She was kind of just doing live sporadically. She would send once, on her live, her call to action was to actually send people to a different Facebook group that was promoting her book, or that was like a book launch type of group. And then she would do some sort of freebie and then ask for the book sale. So it was just like roadblock after roadblock, and like sending people to different Facebook groups. And like, this is something that I see all the time right now, is sending people to a million Facebook groups, sending people to all these different freebies, right? And just putting up too many roadblocks and steps versus the after. If you look at the after here, we made it so simple. Look how much shorter and more concise this looks, where she just had the free Facebook group. She would do her weekly lives, And we picked targeted live topics that were specifically good for selling her book. And she would just go straight to the book sale, right? There was no more offering extra PDF guides or new Facebook groups or freebies. We just simplified the process, and it made it so much easier for her and it saved so much time too, right? So let me know if you're listening to this and you're selling something like this. Like if you're someone who's selling like swipe copy or templates or something like in this price range that's similar, this is a good lesson. And even if you're not, it's just a good lesson in like not putting up too many barriers for people, right? And I think a lot of times people do put up a lot of barriers because they feel like they need to build trust. But really, usually the issue is sometimes that their videos aren't just doing a good job at eliminating objections and creating urgency and also giving the buyer certainty, that they're going to get a result. That's what your videos should be doing. Your videos should be doing the work, right? If you don't have confidence that your videos are going to take people to sold for like something like a $10 ebook, the videos aren't doing what they're supposed to. You shouldn't have to keep sending people to different things, right? It might also be that people put a lot of roadblocks in front of the offer because they're lacking confidence in that offer. And so they try to give all this value to kind of make up for the fact that maybe the offer, it just isn't that strong, right? Or maybe they're just not good at articulating that offer well, right? And another reason too, this is just some food for thought for you all. But another reason also might be that like, for a lot of my students, there's like this deep-seated fear that like selling is bad. And I hear it in a lot of different ways and contexts. But a lot of times, like when we have so many roadblocks in the way, we might feel like we just have to keep giving and giving and giving because we feel salesy or spammy or pushy or like or asking for something that we don't have the right to. But really, like sales should just be a conversation around, making the right decision and helping people figure out if it's the right fit, not feeling bad or guilty that we have something to offer in the first place. Right. And if someone is watching that video, right, then, they're obviously interested in the topic and are looking for some sort of solution. So let me know in the comments what your takeaway is of this so far. Let me know if this is like hitting home with you. But this is the first case study, right? And it goes toward that first mistake, which is with your live video path to cash, do not put up too many roadblocks. Keep things simple and make sure you're very clear on what the goal is, right? The second issue that I want to talk about is the call to action issue. So with the call to action, and again, this is the next step that people take after they watch your video. So sometimes it's that there's just no call to action at all. Sometimes it's that people just expect that, after the video, people will just reach out to you. You don't have to give a call to action, right? Sometimes the call to action is literally just a link to a website without clear direction. That's not a call to action either. That's just you giving a link, right? Or sometimes the last one could be that there's too many calls to action and there's just, not a clear recommendation, a clear next step, and it just gets confusing, right? So let's go to this next case study. So this next case study really demonstrates like this idea of like having too many calls to action. So this next case study is a $97 membership. And this is what her path to cash with live video looked like right before we worked together. So she was going live in her Facebook ecosystem. She would use StreamYard to go live in her group, on her page, on her profile. She was just putting this stuff everywhere, which is fine. She would be doing live sporadically. There was not like one clear set live time that she was going live consistently, right? She would then, her call to action then on the live would be to download a PDF guide. And then in the PDF guide, it was just a link to her website where all of her offers were there. And so we met. She was like, well, Alex, why am I not selling my $97 membership? I'm giving away all this value. Right? It doesn't matter how much value you give away if the path to what you want them to do next is not clear, or if you have not positioned your offer clearly in your process, right? So let me show you the after, and then we'll kind of comment on all this. So here's what the after looked like. So the after was, we still went live to the same places, but we had one weekly live time. From there, we got rid of the PDF guide. We're like, no more of that. No more sending people to a website. And instead, on the weekly live, we talked about the membership and gave people the opportunity to fill out an application to apply to the membership. And then she would book a call with them, make the sale right there on that call, right? And so that's how she started to actually sell it and to figure out what the objections were people were having, what she needed to do to make the membership more robust, because she just kind of had a sales page she hoped people were showing up to. She didn't really understand how her buyer was thinking, right? So again, so many people, this is sort of like what I said in the last one, but again, the issue with this is just creating so many barriers for people, like, having the PDF guide and then just sending them to a website instead of the actual membership page or having that clear call to action. So we simplified the process a lot. We had one clear live time and we just focused on the one offer, right? And I think a lot of times, like, sometimes people like get so wrapped up in like giving people all of the options all the time, which I think is great to have options, but in your content, don't try to help everyone all the time at the same time. Like, have specific videos and content dedicated to growing certain programs, right? Or certain aspects, right? Because if the offers are different, the content's going to need to be a little bit different too. Okay, cool. So I see someone saying, I like this information, makes so much sense. Awesome. Perfect. We still got one more case study and one more mistake to go through. And if y'all have questions on anything that I've talked about so far, don't hesitate to drop it in the comments. I'm here live right now, and I'm happy to answer it while we are live in a few spots. I'm in my group page and YouTube. Okay. All right. So far we've talked about one issue, putting up too many roadblocks. Another issue, not having that clear, really solid call to action. And the third issue is not being able to clearly articulate the path to cash. So one question that I ask my students anytime I have a new student client, I always ask, if someone finds you on social media, what is the process of taking people from just finding you to sold, right? And so you have that level of clarity when you're able to very clearly articulate, something like this, where you're like, okay, they go Facebook group to weekly live to discovery call to sold, or they go Facebook group to weekly live to application call to sold. Like, you have a very clear process that you are following. And eventually what we want to understand is, all right, if 100 people come into your Facebook group or 100 people follow you on Instagram, how many of those people are then going to go on to convert, right? Or how many of those people are then going to go on to watch your videos and then convert? So we want to start figuring out what some of those numbers are versus just kind of guessing. So let's talk about this third case study. So this third case study is a high ticket group coaching program. Most of my accelerator students, are selling something high ticket, but this is specifically like a 3K coaching program. And here's the before. So the before was Facebook group, weekly live, discovery call, and then go for the sale. This is not bad. And again, this example is going to be a little bit different, right? It's going to kind of a little bit contradict what I've said, but it's going to be important. So none of this is bad. The issue though was, right now, I think the culture with discovery calls are people a little bit sick of discovery calls, where I think there's this feeling online of just, you get on a discovery call and you expect to kind of be spammed and sold to, and even if it's not the right fit, right? Sort of this make the sale at all costs mentality. I'll give an example. Last year, I did this little experiment where I got on a bunch of sales calls applying to different programs and, programs that were like doing really, really well. And I got on the phone with all these different teams and sales reps, and truly some of them were horrendous. Like some of them, I barely said 2 words and they just talked at me and shared about the bonuses and the pricing and went on and on and on. And I barely said anything. And it was just such a horrible experience. It was eye-opening where I'm like, okay, you guys are probably all going through that same thing. But that was part of the issue. When you're selling a higher ticket program now, right, there's more convincing and there's more trust. There's another level of trust that has to be built. There's more certainty that's needed, right? No one's going to spend $3,000 if they are not certain that they are going to get a result, right? And so there's more to do to provide that certainty than just 1 live a week. Sometimes that requires more in-depth experiences. So this person, although it is 100% possible to just have weekly lives and sell people from discovery calls, it is possible. This person needed to build more trust with her audience. And so the after was she went Facebook group to weekly live, and she ended up in her live asking people to comment during and get on the wait list for her program and apply to join a training. So she'd be like, hey, apply, if you want to get on the wait list for this program, comment wait list. I'm going to reach out to you. And the next training that I'm hosting, you're going to hear even more about it. So then she would host some sort of challenge or workshop where she could nurture them even more, start to get them a result, or take the first step that they would normally take in the program and then sell them in, right? And that's where she would then, get on a call with them and make the sale from there. So again, there's certain instances where it's like, keep it short and simple. So if we're thinking about this $10 ebook or this $97 membership, like it doesn't take a lot of convincing to get someone to spend $10 or even $97, right? But to have a 3K program or more, like I think there's more nurturing and convincing that's going to go into that, where that's when we would want to put up a few more barriers so that we are getting people that are going to be, more high quality as well, that are willing to kind of do the work. And for example, for my accelerator program, like I don't just accept anyone into the program. Like I want people who have already started to do the work. People who have done all 7 days of my live video challenge, who show up to VIP, people in my Video Skills Lab program who are consistently showing up to the trainings, right? Because those people who are consistently showing up and taking action, they're getting a result, meaning they're investing that time, they're getting a result, right? And usually those people who are investing time and, usually they're investing like some sort of money as well because they're serious. Not always. But that's just it. This is the only case where I think I'm like, put up a few more barriers to, make sure you're weeding out people who are not as serious. So let me know if this is making sense to you all so far. And I see that we have a question. How can you put your videos that are already done into an audio package and sell it? Okay, this is sort of off topic. I'm not sure who's asking this, but how do you put your videos in? So this is very, I guess we could talk about like the actual path to cash, but it would depend on how much it would sort of cost. If we're thinking about let me go back. The path to cash in terms of selling it, if it's a lower ticket type of like audio package, right? Then you could do something literally like this, right? Like let's say it was like $50 or $47 for this video package. I would have, your main platform, whether it's a group or something else, have your weekly live and then just sell it directly. But again, if this is something higher ticket that has, more tiers to it, then that would be kind of different. So there's more information that I would need to kind of help you put that together. Okay, cool. Well, I hope today was helpful for all of you. It was a pleasure to be back here live. I have not been live in a little bit because Like, I don't know if some of you heard, but I took most of February off. It was amazing, but I'm back at it. I'm going to have more lives that are happening every single week. But I hope this was helpful. And like I said, there's 2 events that are upcoming in March. So event number 1 is the Rebel Boss Summit. I am going to, actually, I won't share my screen here. But the Rebel Boss Summit is a 4-day summit with like 25 plus speakers, and I will be speaking at it. Specifically, my topic goes through, this is where I will share, this area right here. I go through the Power 5 videos where I'll be sharing basically the 5 videos you can create every single month to sell your digital product or course. I go through some really fun examples. And not just me, like the other speakers are freaking amazing as well. This is the 3rd time that I have spoke at it, and it is always just such a good time. So that's the first event. It's starting March 6th, and the link to sign up's in the description. The second event that I am going to be hosting is my free 7-day live video challenge. It's starting March 12th. The link is in the description of this video as well, but in this event, I basically go through the 7 keys to highly converting live videos. And I walk you through step by step through this process. We go through how to write your script, how to find your titles, how to find your ideal viewer. We talk about tech. There's just like so much good stuff inside of it. And I host this challenge usually once a quarter. And I'm like really looking forward to it. So the link to sign up's in the description of this as well. But otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed today. If you watched with me live, you can drop me a #live, or if you watched the replay, #replay. I would love to know what your biggest takeaway was from this as well. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend.